Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bloom with Wunmi, where I'm interviewing women leaders, either in career, in business, or in the community. And today I have with me Adedoyin Omotara, the founder and CEO of Adonia Beauty. Welcome, Adedoyin.
Thank you so much. It's so humbling to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so great to speak with you again. So just briefly tell us about you, just a short story about who is Adedoyin.
Oh, my name is Adedoyin Omotara, as you rightly said, and I am a wife and a mom of two nations. I like to call them two nations because they're taking over the world. So my personal mission statement is to empower people, especially women and children, to live fuller and more expressive lives, to basically become better versions of ourselves. And I do that through different projects that I'm into. I mean, that is what actually powers everything that I do, because I believe that who you are powers what you do. And that is who I feel I am. I am an equiper that equips other people to, generally become better versions of themselves and to live fuller and more expressive lives. So that's it simply. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I like how you spoke about your personal mission statement. So how did you come about your personal mission statement?
Well, I came about my personal mission statement at a point in my life when I was just frustrated with life, and I started to question life, like, what is this life about? Who am I? Where am I going? What are all of these achievements that I have? What are they? To what end, right? And I did work with a life coach that really helped me to gather all my stories and just looked at similar themes in my stories that pointed to the fact that I really wanted to help women, especially people generally, but women especially, gain confidence and live fuller and more expressive lives. That was just coming up as a similar theme in all of my stories. When you do a timeline of your life, if you work with any life coach, they will tell you to do a timeline of your life. And when I did that, I saw that the theme that was recurring based on my story was, really the confidence theme, and really helping people to step out of their comfort zone and really move on with their dreams and their visions, and really help people activate and catalyze who they are and why they are here.
I love the part of you going through your life story. I have always believed that your life story has germs inside, and then you have treasures hidden in your life stories. And when you have time, when you take time out, like to uncover that, to unravel that gift that you've been given, you'll be surprised at what is hidden in it. But if you just gloss over it and like, that happened and that's it, or even sometimes we try to hide our story because of some of them that are painful, but in the midst of that pain, if you take time to just like unravel it, sit down, and you'll be surprised at what you find. You're surprised that sometimes you see some strength in yourself that you didn't know you had, or some things that you've learned over the years. And so our stories are just, they're blessings, and we should not just gloss over them. Wow, I really love that. Yeah, when you were talking, you really spoke about you more like retreating to get to know yourself and things like that. So what would you say that self-awareness had to do with developing as a leader?
So I feel awareness is the very first step to understanding who you are, and to really realizing your goals. Awareness is the first. Self-awareness is the first. So why do I say that? Excuse me. You need to be aware of your state of mind. You need to be aware of who you are, and you need to be truthful to yourself. So it comes with, coming face to face with yourself and telling yourself the truth. And that is where awareness comes. So when you are aware of what's happening in your life, then you are able to tackle those different areas of life. It's like really knowing, checking knowing that knowing that you desire a change. It's like you desiring a change. You know that there's some things that are not working well in your life, but what awareness helps you to do is you are actually looking at different areas of your life and looking at it and saying, okay, this is what I need to do here. That is what I need to do there. It's just like it's just like having a house that needs renovation. Now you need to check each room to see, okay, this one needs painting, this one, the floor needs change, this one. So that comes with awareness. You need to know what's happening. If you're not aware that something is wrong, then you're not going to make any change. So personal transformation, I believe, starts with awareness.
So how has that worked out in your own life, in your own life story?
So in my own life story, I got to a point where I was very aware that things were not going the way I felt they should go. I just felt discontent with life. And I was very aware of that. And I did not, for a long time, I just shoved it to the side. But it got to a point where I said, I needed answers. And that was, so the awareness was what pushed me to get answers and to start working on my vision, on the desires that I really planted in my heart. Yeah. So that's how awareness has played its role in my life.
Yeah, I think, thank you very much for sharing that. I hear that there's a time when we get discontented and we want to see what is that is going on. Instead of just shoving it under the carpet and just walking past, you can start to sit down with that and say, what is this telling me? Why is this like this? Yeah. And many times we might need to get a professional to help us through that journey, to really uncover things that's going on underneath, for us to really understand that, okay, this is what is happening and this is what I need to do. And for a lot of leadership framework and leadership dimensions, the first is just a self-awareness, because that's what you understand, even like what's your strength, what's your weaknesses, what are things that you need to work on, what are things you're bringing to the table. And for you, you spoke about your personal mission statement, right? So let's go to personal mission statement. How important is it for leaders to have that statement, have personal mission statement?
So leadership for me means responsibility. Like you cannot say you're a leader and you're not responsible. So, but you want to self-govern yourself. You want to lead yourself first before you go out there and lead other people. And that's where the responsibility comes. We can easily just go, oh yeah, this is how to be productive. This is what to do. No, the people need to see it in your life. It's beyond talk. That's why people go after people that have results. And that's why some people go, the rich get richer, because the people that have results, people are after the results. They are not after, you're just talking. And that is where leadership comes in. And that is where self-governing yourself really comes in. So when you start to lead your own self, you cannot lead yourself and not know what your mission is in life. If you get what I mean. That's the start of it, of leading yourself. Okay, you're aware that these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, and these are the things that you really want to change in your life. You're aware of those things. But then how do you move forward? Right? So moving forward can be random. You can just go, I want to do this, just do a nice vision board and put it up there. No, you cannot have, I believe that a leader cannot have a vision board without understanding their mission, because it is that mission. Your mission is who you are, and that is what powers what you do, right? So that is what powers all the things you will create through vision. But you need to have a mission. Like, what is your central role? What is that central role you are playing in the world? You need to get it. You need to sit down and get it right. Once you get that right, okay, this is my central role. And it's not one thing. I cannot just say, oh, my mission is to have a beauty company and just beautify women and empower women. No, it cannot be one thing. It's a central role. So you could be an equiper, you could be a catalyst, you could be an activator, you could be a teacher, you could be a consultant, you know. So there are things that you just discover that you're playing that central role in the world. And it doesn't even have to be to a specific set of people. You can, because when you discover that, then God starts to place visions in your heart for you to create. So when you step into purpose, which is your mission statement, you become a visionary that begins to create. There is no way you will step into purpose and not start to create. You may have created something else in the past without even purpose, without vision. You know, you may have created a nice career for yourself, created a nice business. But when you step into purpose, which is your mission, you start to see things in a different light. You start to see that, oh, this is not mainstream. This has to be unique to you. This is not about, oh, what did they say? This has to be unique to you. It has to show forth your strength. It has to show forth who you are. When people see what you are doing and they will go, oh, you are the one that's supposed to be doing this because this represents you. Yeah, so I believe that for a leader, your personal mission is the first thing you want to start to work on. You know, as soon as you discover that you're going to lead, you want to lead yourself. And by leading yourself, you want to first understand what your personal mission statement is, so that you can then use that to create the vision ahead of you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really love that. I really love that. So now this takes me to the next question. You know, you've spoken a lot about your personal mission statement, talking about your purpose and goal. And I would also want to go back to this. I know you spoke about understanding your story at first, really knowing your story. So how does using your own story help you to align your values, your strengths, and your vision? And how does that work together to help you see opportunities or to help you birth new things that you want to? How does it work together? Your story, your vision, your values, your strengths. How does it work together to help you?
So I wrote a book in 2020 titled Unmask Your Beauty, which just means unmask all the hidden treasures that you have within you. And I did put an acronym there for really understanding who you are. And the acronym is GIFT. So your genuine passion, your innate strength, your foundational values, your true personality, and S is your story, which are your experiences in life. I believe that is the start. I'm not saying that's everything. That's everything about you. But that's the start of really leveraging your personal power. That's the start of you really understanding who you are. And once you know that, you're able to come up with a mission statement through that. So your values definitely are big, because your values tell you what's important to you, really. There's so many things in this world, but what are the core of who you are? What's really important to you? Then your personality, what's your personality? You want to own it. You can be introverted and be feeling, oh, maybe extroverted people are the people that get things. No, you need to own it and start to bring out the strength in that personality. Sometimes situation in life makes us change our personality, right? So personality is not necessarily set in stone. Personality is like an accumulation of your environment, your experiences, what you've been through, and that's really what defines a lot, about your personality. So you just discover that some people might actually be extroverted, and a life-changing event happens in their life, maybe the loss of a loved one, and they just come into their shell, and people start to say they're introverted, and they start to behave like introverted people as well. So you need to, whatever personality you have, you just want to own it and ensure that it powers whatever you are called to do. And I believe that personality is not set in stone. Also, your strength, those strengths are those things that come naturally to you. I do events, I socialize well with people. And some people are like, how do you even do it? How do you even, right? So I know it's not for everyone. The way other
Mm.
people shine is through other ways. So you want to really understand what your strengths are. You want to really understand what your strengths are and really use it to power whatever you're doing. You don't want to copy what anybody is doing because they might not have the strength that you have. And your strengths are supposed to be the things that come naturally to you, right? Maybe you are a natural networker, you're a natural communicationist, and a lot of these skills can actually be learned, right? But if you have it naturally, then you can build on it. There's something in you that has it, and then you can build on it. It's much easier. Also, talking about our passions. Our passions are those desires that God has placed in our hearts. I have so many passions, and I'm like, why am I even passionate about this? Right? But it's God that is placing it in your heart. Why is it not placed in another person or in other people's or your neighbor's heart? Right? It's because He really wants you to go ahead with that desire. Right? So passions are those desires that are just inside of you. I've always had this desire to be in the beauty industry. I didn't know why. Until later when I got in, I was like, okay, this is why God is sending me to this industry. But it's always been a desire. It's always been my desire to help women, be more confident, right? I didn't know how I was going to do it, but it's always been my desire, right? So there are these, so your passions are your desires, and all of those come together to feed who you are, so that all of who you are can then power what you're doing, what you want to do in the world, to impact the world, to influence the world, and to leave a legacy in the world.
Well, thank you very much. I like how you mentioned that influencing the world, and because as another definition of leadership is actually influence. Leadership is influence. When you have people that you can influence other people, then you're a leader. You don't have to wait to have a title. If you're in the corporate world, you don't have to wait to be a manager or a supervisor or be in the C-suite before you see yourself as a leader. If you have people that you're influencing, you are a leader, and just owning that and stepping up your leadership game. And I think I love that we've spoken about different ways you can actually help you to lead. There's the self-awareness, really understanding who you are, what you bring to the table, understanding your personality, your gifts, your talents, your stories, and just bringing all that together to really build also your own mission statement, and which would more like be a path that creates the path for you to see, okay, this is what I'm meant to do, this is what I want to do. And you don't have to, I want to just say this out to people that are watching us today. You don't have to say, okay, I'm just in the corporate world, so this is not referring to me. No, you can actually build that. You can bring your mission statement, your personal mission statement, and you can actually even, your personal mission statement should be at convergence with your professional statement, mission statement. It should come together, because that's where being authentic comes in, right? Being authentic as a leader is because you can actually come out and be yourself, like bring your full self even to that work or to the business you're doing. So yeah, thank you very much for that. So how does owning your voice help you to be a confident leader?
Owning your voice. So I'm glad we started this conversation with personal mission statements, because that is what will help you to own your voice. In the world that we currently live in, there's so many distractions. Whatever you're doing, so many other people have gone ahead of you, done it well. So many people are out there trying to tell you this is how to do it. But there's something that comes with owning your voice. Do you know how many times people have asked me, are you not going to be in Sephora? Are you not going to be in this? Are you not going? And I'm like, this is the voice. This is I know I'm not mainstream. I don't have to be in Sephora to become $1 million company or to even scale more than that. I don't have to be. I am just following God's direction. And that is where owning your voice comes. Owning your voice is really understanding your mission statement and not allowing anyone to move you here and there. Because it's whatever you focus on that will grow. So if you decide to focus on something, that is what will grow. So you need to be careful what you're focusing on. Otherwise, you'll be wasting time. And that is very important to me. So it's important to me to own my voice, to really own what that mission statement that I have, to really amplify it. And for people to, I don't want to tell people that my mission in the world is to help people to live fuller and more expressive lives. I want people to tell me that, Doyin, this is your mission. And that's what happens. That's what happens. Based on what you are doing, people are going to be seeing it and are going to be coming to tell you that this is the situation. It's like a woman that's pregnant. By second trimester, before you birth, people are already seeing you. So people see all the glory, all the things you're going to birth. People are seeing it because you are owning your voice. And another thing that helps you to own your voice is consistency. You don't want to say something today, tomorrow you're saying something else, tomorrow you're doing, no. Whatever I'm doing, it's powered by my voice, by who I am, which is my voice. It's powered by that. So if I decide tomorrow that I want to go into the food industry, there's Adonia Foods, people know that what Adonia will be doing in that system is that I would still be empowering women in one way or the other. If Adonia enters the financial services sector, people know that why I'm there is because I want to empower women. I want women to live fuller and more expressive lives. And there are different ways to do it. What owning your voice helps you to do is you get creative. It brings out a creativity in you. You're not looking at what other people are doing because it doesn't matter. I know that people say, oh, you need to know what's happening, fear of missing out. No, you can know what's happening, but let it just be there. But you need to focus on what you are sent to do and really amplify it. Let everybody know. Now people know, like when I first started, people will be asking, so is it makeup you are doing or coaching? What is it? Now people understand. Even when people come to my store, they know the kind of conversations we have. And that's how you own your voice and you amplify your voice. Owning your voice is really understanding your personal mission statement and living by it. Living by it in everything you do. People that would not come before because they are confused, after 5 years of consistency, they will come to you. And that's what I find. So everything I talk about is not what I've read. I like to talk from personal experience. That's what I find. You won't even need to look for clients. They'll be the ones looking for you because they've seen proven results and they've seen consistency and they've seen you owning and amplifying your voice.
Wow, thank you. I love that. Owning your voice and then amplifying your voice. So it's like you come from the fact that the one you own. And I also like this how we've built on these things. We talked about understanding yourself, your stories, and how you're understanding your values and your passion and your gift, and how that comes into your personal mission statement, and understanding your personal mission statement, how that helps you to actually know your voice and see how you're going to show up in the world. And how that's actually, when you start owning your voice, then you talk about amplifying it, right? And that consistency that comes with understanding your voice, knowing your voice. And wow, I really love the package today, and it's just an interesting conversation. Yeah, wow, I really love it. I would like to ask this question. You've worked with a lot of women. So what would you say is something that keeps holding women back in actually standing up to be a leader? Because, you know, it's not everybody that actually stands up to lead, wants to just be in their own cocoon. And I'm not saying that everybody has to have a leadership title tied to their name, but even just standing up to really lead and express themselves, or even bring up their voice. What do you think is one thing that really holds women back?
Okay, so before I get to that question, I think, okay, I think I should just address the question. Number one thing that holds women back is lack of understanding that leadership is not a title. Just as you have said, it's influence. Whether you like it or not, you are a leader. So there's either, I watched a clip of Eladrotoye recently, and he said the opposite of leader is not follower. The opposite of a leader, and there's no bad leader or good leader. It's either you're a leader or you're not. But a lot of we women have been placed in positions of leadership. But if you're not aware then you are not a leader. You cannot lead. Because even being in your home, you are a leader. You're supposed to be influencing your family. You're supposed to be influencing your children, your husband. You're a leader. In the workplace, nobody has to tell you a leader. Anywhere you find yourself, as long as you're influencing people through your lifestyle, through your work ethics, you are leading. But if you're not aware, then you're not leading. So I feel that the very first thing that holds women back is that stereotype, like men are the leaders. So anywhere women are, a lot of women try to, take this posture of bowing down, like, oh, my opinions don't matter. I don't really need to be heard. I don't really, nobody's seeing me. Let the guy just go forward. So it's, and those stereotypes have come from the environment, the societal expectations, culture, right? Cultural expectations, societal expectations, and all of those things have now stereotyped women such that we don't even know that we have the ability and the capacity to be leaders. So it's the mind. The mind is that thing that is actually holding us back, because you need to renew your mind and get to the state of awareness that you're actually a leader before you can now, before you now know that, oh yeah, I'm a leader, then I can do all of these things. So a lot of people don't even know. So you don't even need to use that word leadership before you start to lead. Really, it's influence, just as you said.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just, I meet a lot of women that are like, oh, I just kept quiet. I'm like, why? I don't talk. I don't even post on Facebook. Why? Why? Or I just look at what other people are doing. Why? Like, why do you want to be like that? Why do you want to dim your lights when you can shine? Why? You don't talk about your personal life if you're not interested in it, but you can stand on a platform and amplify your voice. What do you stand for? So those are usually conversational starters for me. Like, what do you stand for? Why don't you start to talk about that? What are the things you believe in? Okay, you believe that this is how family should be run. Why don't you start talking about that? Your voice needs to be heard. Don't think so many people are talking about it. What about you? Your own perspective will be different because your story is different, because who you are is different, because you are unique. There's only one you.
Yeah.
So we need you. Don't ever think people are doing anything. We need you. We need you. Yeah, so that's the main thing. The society has really stereotyped women that we don't even believe that we are leaders. So that's what's really holding us back. So that's the number one thing, for sure. That's the number one thing. And that is not helping us to really step into our power and be all that we can become.
Be all that you can be. Wow, I really love that. I love the fact that you said, don't dim your lights, right? Share, stand up and influence others, stand up and be who you are been called to be. Stand up and just shine your light, because we need to hear from you. We need your light. And like I keep saying, it's not just, don't think, oh, this is just for the entrepreneurs. I'm just working in my space, in the corporate world, and I just need to be there. No, you can have your own personal mission statement. You can have your own personal brand and actually grow and expand that. Wow. So thank you very much, Adedoyin. I really love this conversation. I love how we went with it and then everything that we came to. And I know that anybody watching today would actually have gotten some nuggets that they can go ahead and work with, because you are a leader, woman. And what we want to do with this show is to help raise and empower female leaders. Of course, men are going to learn from this too, but my focus right now is on women, because I know that the world needs more leaders. We are in critical need of leaders. And when you stand up to lead, what you're doing is that you're making the causing changes, you're influencing, you're giving the gifts of you to the world. And that's what we want. So thank you again, Adedoyin. Any final words? You're muted.
Thank you so much for having me on this show. I really love the topic of leadership because, you know, before I used to think, leadership, I beg you, I'm not a leader, I'm just doing my work. But like in the past 2 years, I just discovered that I am a leader. I am a leader, right? Because I'm influencing people, I'm influencing lives, and I'm taking responsibility. I am a leader, and I'm bringing out the best in people. I am a leader, you know. So it's such a huge, big word that a lot of women, it's tough to find ourselves in it. So I'm glad you're doing this because it's really important for us to see ourselves as leaders. I think if we see ourselves as leaders, our perspective to things will change, the way we approach things will change, and the world will generally be a better place. Our children will be raised with more intentionality, and thereby, you know, breeding a new set of leaders. And if you're a leader, you're also going to raise leaders, right? Because you can't give what you don't have. So it's only what you have that you can give, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a much needed topic for women. And I'm so glad that you have decided to stand up and champion this cause. Thank you for being a leader. Those are the last words I have for you today. Thank you for being a leader and for really championing this cause and making us realize that we are leaders in our own spaces. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Adedoyin. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. It's always been a pleasure speaking with you anytime, on camera, off camera.
Yeah, thank you.
God bless you, everyone, for watching today. And please watch out for the next episode of Bloom with Wunmi. Take care and God bless. Bye.